For you dental marketing plan. It's presented by Brand Grenade. I'm Brand Grenade. I'll give you a little background, just so you know who you're talking to or being spoken to from. My name's Adrian Pritchard, and I've been in advertising for a long, long time. I've written ads. I'm a brand strategist. I've worked on big brands, small brands, had my own agencies. If you want to look me up, I'm there on LinkedIn. That'll give you a bit of credibility to what I'm about to talk you through. We came up with this notion a little while back. I had a couple of dental clients who really needed some marketing help. And given that it's a small business per se, it's very difficult to go and afford the expense of hiring a marketing director. So I came up with this notion of actually putting together a plan which is easy to implement for dentists and dental practices. So I'm going to take you through very simply what we do, what I've done, and what we can do for you to show you how a done-for-you dental marketing plan, can work. I think the first thing I want to talk about here, I'll run through the little steps I'm going to take, is the first important thing is to understand the customer lifetime value. So what's a customer worth your practice over a period of time, how long they're going to stay with you, and what you can expect from that customer in terms of the value to your business. Then we've got to agree the goals of marketing because different practices have different needs. Then I'm going to show you how and what we will do to implement and deliver on those agreed goals. And I'll cover basically how I'll cover the creative and manage the marketing of your business for you. And then, of course, we'll have a quick chat, just give you an indicative idea of how costs are involved in different packages. So this is the most important thing I think that any dental marketer needs to have is understanding the value of a customer patient. Now, basically, it works out. It's a very simple formula that it's the dollar transaction plus the annual frequency of purchase, which is the number of times they visit you, and the expected years of a relationship. So that gives you a customer lifetime value. Now, the average customer lifetime value of a dental patient in Australia, depending on who you listen to, it's around $10,000 per person. So it's a pretty good investment is marketing because generally speaking, people don't leave the practice once they're with unless something dramatic happens like they move town. And of course, that doesn't include the individual. For an individual, doesn't include their families or referrals of friends and things like that. And friends referring as well. So, and there's tactics around that. So let's just talk a little bit about the dentist value ladder. The dentist value ladder is like, what is the most profitable kind of work that a dentist can do? And as you can see in this ladder, right up the top is cosmetic, which is the big dollars. But you really got to start at the bottom. When you get a new patient, start at the bottom with a simple cleaning, which is the lower end value stuff. Then we get up to whitening. Then we get up to maintenance, which can be fillings and things like that. Corrective work is quite lucrative. And of course, as I said, cosmetic. So the objective of anything we do is to start people into this, is to bring new patients into your practice at cleaning and migrate them all the way up through cosmetic. And depending on the kind of practice you are, where you're located, that has an impact on where you start and where you attract customers on this on this ladder. So the goals are really simple. From pretty much every practice, doesn't matter whether you're established or not, you have to remember that any minute that someone's not in the chair is money lost. Yeah. So it's not dissimilar to an airplane taking off. If you're flying Qantas and there's empty seats, that's revenue that Qantas don't get. So it's better to have new patients in and use those downtime to actually attract new patients in, because once they do come in and have a good experience with your business, then they'll stay for a while. So the second thing we want to do is increase visitation. You guys know only too well that if you're in the dental business, one of the hardest things is keeping track of clients, and they always come in too late, they miss appointments, or they just forget about it, and they come in when they need to, as opposed to proactively looking after their dental health. And the third marketing goal we have is improve profitability. And I showed you that ladder before, which we need to migrate people more to that top end of that value ladder, which is the cosmetic work and the restorative work and all that sort of stuff. Yeah. So how are we going to do it? I'm going to take you a very brief précis on the tactics we'll use to grow your business. The first thing we're going to do is acquire new patients directly. The second thing we can do is acquire new patients through referred. And then we go to how do we activate the lapsed and dormant patients? And then we've got this upselling program that we're going to implement, which is designed to get people into the top end of that value. So just to give you a couple of examples, how do we acquire new patients? Well, the simplest way and the most effective way that we've found is we need to offer a reason for trial. And that trial, I'll show you an example in a tick, but that trial could be a really cost-effective product. It could be a free scale and clean, a low-value teeth whitening or x-rays or whatever it might be. But we use social selling and patient referral program, which we'll establish for you to make that happen. Just to give you an idea, if we're doing a good lead generation exercise, which is getting more people into your practice, first thing we do is create an irresistible offer, something that everyone's going to want. And that could be a free scale and clean. It might be a discount scale and clean. It might be a teeth whitening offer, but it's got to be super duper value. Then what we do is we create an ad promoting that offer, and we'll place that on various social medias and promoted posts. In your geographic area. We'll create a landing page, which is different from a website, because a landing page is specifically a website with that offer and the tools on that web page for people to react on that offer. Okay, so it's not asking you, doesn't go into why you're a great dentist or where your practice is located or how long you've been in business or the kind of specialties you do and who's on the team and all that sort of stuff. It's purely about the offer. So what happens is the user or the reader of the on the landing page, once we get them there, they enter their information and we can put a pay online option if we want to. I think it's better that people pay at the surgery. Some people have asked us to do pay online. It hasn't proven that effective, to be honest. But we offer the person that something extra special once we've got them on board. So if they sign up, we'll send them an email, and that's when we can actually do a bit of an upsell. If we're doing a free scale and clean, it might be first x-ray at 25% off or something. But we do that with a follow-up email. That's what we use that email to upsell other services. So when they come in for a scale and clean, if they need a filling or something, you might have a deal in place for them, which means they've got to come back again. Okay, so if you give them a discount x-ray, they've got a filling, they've got a discount x-ray, well, they're going to come back to you as opposed to go somewhere else and get it done. So that's the tactic. Just to give you an idea of how it looks, we use Facebook and Google AdWords to drive traffic to a landing page, which is separate from your site. A reason for that is because these things we need to be agile and tactical with promotions. So if you do an irresistible offer and all of a sudden your chairs are full, then you'll want to be able to quickly pull it down and perhaps do something else without interrupting your website. So I try and keep it away from your website. But this is just an example. That's actually a live video of that girl. So she's smiling and pointing to her teeth and stuff. So it's quite arresting. Get ready. This is a teeth whitening offer. Get ready for your big day, charming free teeth whitening session. Sorry. And they'll enter their email, their details there, and what happens then is they'll get a series of emails. That'll get them in. We send them a thank you letter, what to do, how to prepare, and then we can follow up because we've now created a dialogue with them, and we can actually start engaging with them before they even arrive for their appointment. Okay, so that's just an example of that. What we then do is we also do a follow-up series of emails that go after a patient's first visit. That might include a survey. It might include other offers. It might include knowledge and health tips from oral hygiene health tips from you. It won't be all sell, but it's very focused. So if we know that when someone comes in, we'll know their age, where they live, whether they've got family or not, so we can send the appropriate communications out to those people. And we can use that once we've established a relationship. We can use that to upsell them onto other services that you might have to offer. So the actions are pretty simple. We create an irresistible offer. So scale and clean is an example. We create an ad promoting the offer. We create a landing page promoting the offer. The user enters their information. We offer the person something extra, and we follow up via email and upsell. Now, here's another tactic that we employ too. It's activating lapsed and dormant patients, and everyone's got them. I haven't met a dental practice that hasn't got people who don't just forget about their dental health, and their oral health. So what we need to do is to prod those people into action, and there's a number of tactics we can do to make that happen. The first thing we're going to do is re-engage the community. Most dental practices have Facebook pages, and I've got to be totally honest with you, most of them are rubbish. They're small numbers, then they're sporadically updated. The stuff that's there is really not of value to someone who's a member or you would like to be, start to feel a part of your tribe. So we try and establish expertise, credibility, and authority, but we also have a bit of fun. We've got to remember that when people are on Facebook, you're competing with cat videos and funny stuff, right? So your stuff, just because you're a dentist, doesn't mean you can't have a bit of fun. Yeah. So the important part too is we also impart knowledge, care, values, reminders, and we try and get them involved in a relationship with you on the social pages that you might have. And so we're always putting up stuff there about knowledge, and that might be how early is too early for a kid to come to the dentist, care, the 5 mistakes are all dental, the 5 mistakes people make when looking at brushing their teeth. It could be as simple as what sort of values can we offer, or what are our values as a practice, and it might be our involvement with the community. So we might sponsor a local soccer team or something. Reminders, folks, it's Monday, put it in your diary, come and get your teeth checked. And also we can put in various offers, okay? So there's a whole range of tactics to go around that and how we implement that. Just to give you an example, how cute is that little monkey looking at that lady's teeth? But that's a little funny one I picked up, which is like you get people to interact and they put them all up and you can give a prize away for coming up with the best quote, and you can stick them up as posters in your surgery and things like that. Getting back to the actions, you got to reinvigorate your Facebook page or your social pages. Yeah? Build your tribe with regular postings, and I recommend 4 times a week. Connect your tribe to Instagram because photos are great. Instagram's growing. Commence Q&A. You can have Facebook Live and do little videos where your various dentists can actually get on and give a piece of advice. You can talk to your constituents, basically, is what it's about. Then email. Regular reputation contact is important. It's like something happened at the surgery last week. I think all my patients need to know about this. That's important because it says you care, yeah, and that you're really committed to not just your business, but to their dental health, yeah. Seasonal marketing promotions, and this is a really important one. I'll just give you an example. Beginning of footy season, every parent who's got a kid playing footy, whether it's a girl playing hockey or a boy playing football, they need custom mouth guards, and every dentist I know has 100 reasons why they shouldn't buy these plastic ones off the shelf in a chemist. So you can use your knowledge and your expertise on this subject to actually promote families with kids coming in and getting custom mouth guards made. And that's a seasonal thing. And there's a whole raft of seasonal activities that we can do for you. Again, teeth whitening offer. I don't know whether you retail in your practice, but you may, in which case you can put offers in around stuff that you retail. I've just used a teeth whitening kit as an example. You can use social and you can use email marketing for that. Yeah. Just to give you a bit of a flavour, you've got to keep it fun. It's got to be engaging and it's regular. Yeah. So these are some examples of like bacon in America, bacon toothpaste, pickle toothpaste, and cake toothpaste. Oh my God. No, it's not real, is it? Spider-Man floss. Should we get this in the surgery for the kids? Up the top left there. I'm so wanting this. Please, your thoughts, patients. And here's a knowledge piece. Visiting the dentist. How young is too young? So all this stuff is the kind of interesting and engaging, and you create two-way conversation with your patients and your constituents, all the people within your tribe, by keeping this constantly fresh and regular and interesting and stuff up. It only has to be top of mind. They talk in media terms and in advertising land, we talk about media recency. This gives you recency because it keeps you always top of mind, yeah? And use social to drive business. On the bottom left here, I've just given you the example of footy season is here. Get your kid custom mouth guards. The other two are just fun posts. So it's not a bad strategy to actually go gagged, and then give a bit of sell. in terms of the frequency of how often you push promotions. Yeah. Look, what can a marketing plan look like? And this shows you how intensive it can be. The good thing about this, while there's a lot of activity here, I'm going to run down the left-hand side first. The new patient activities, lead generation, we could be running in month 1. We could run a free clean promotion. We might have a kids mouth guard promotions or a whitening offer in month 3. But that's all about lead generation. I took you through the example of the landing page before on how that works. Re-engaging with our tribe, and the objective here, of course, is to build our social tribe using Facebook, Instagram, and regular email. That's an ongoing process and something you can't ignore. You need to be constantly in touch with your constituents, as they say. Reputation is part and parcel of all the communication you need to be doing, and even above and beyond these channels. And I'm not recommending you do all sorts of channels. Like some people do outdoor billboards, some people go to radio. I'm taking the lowest common denominator here. I'm keeping it simple. There's basically the email marketing, Facebook activity, and social activity is what I'm recommending, but we can take it to whatever degree you want. But basically, it's important that your knowledge and your expertise in your skill sets, particularly your top-end skill sets, are regularly communicated, because that, again, migrates people up that value chain towards a more profitable kind of business that you want to be doing. Then we've got all those patients who are sitting dormant. So part and parcel of that is free activate. What can we do around that? And we discuss all this stuff with you. A free checkup might be an example, a patients only deal that you might even broadcast that to the wider community. Yeah? You might have reminder incentives as well. Give reasons for people to come back on time every time. The next activity is referral. You might have family discount. That might be anybody. If, for example, Julie Smith is a patient, then anyone for the next week that comes in, or the next month that comes in, there's a direct member of her family, you might actually give something to, or a volume discount, or that family. If all 10 of them come, you might say, right, 10% off your bill for all of you. Yeah, and that would keep them coming back regularly and regularly. Again, we can do community offers, and that can be involved in getting different parts of the community, and that could be sporting groups. It could be community groups of various types, but being actively involved in the community is always a good thing, and it can actually be used to drive business. Upsell is important. If people are just coming to get clean and scales all the time, it's not that profitable, but you might have offers on restorative things, where if you've got an aging population in your community, you might go out with something around implants. You might do the next one across, which is cosmetic financing. You might do deals with your suppliers as well on what can they do to help promote their products through your channels and to your tribe and community that you've built up of patients. Then, of course, your website. Most dental practices have good websites, but we can help you out there. I mean, I think there's a real strategy around it. I think so much. What I don't like about websites is that they're basically brochures that don't do a lot, like car brochures. So I think the important thing is you've got to keep them, if you rebuild a website, you don't even need to rebuild a website. It's important you have a really sound strategy around how you're going to keep it, not just launch it, but keep it regular, updated, so there's a reason to come back all the time. And you can tie some of the activities up there in the social channels back to your website as well, and keep the content fresh both on your website and both through your social channels. So that's what a marketing activity plan could look like, depending on the scale and scope and how many practices you are, whether you're just starting off or whether you're a multi-practice business. So how do we manage this? Basically, all it takes at your end is one person to be responsible for this. Instead of having a marketing manager, you guys already have pricing in place. You already know the price you want. You might want to be doing more of the top-end stuff. We can talk about that. But basically, we will act as your marketing department and advertising agency in one. So the first thing we do is we confirm the scope of what you want to be doing. And the scope is we set the objectives for your business, and then we go, right, well, these are the activities that we're going to drive. This is going to bring new people in. This is how we're going to upsell them, and this is going to how we're going to reach your audience. Okay. We set those tasks and we set a process, and then we action it. It's pretty simple, right? These are the tasks. we're going to run these promotions. We get that marketing plan like I just showed you. That's down pat. Then we set the process in action, and that means we get all the stuff built. As it happens, it gets rolled out, we action it, you see it, you approve it, we put it up. At any point in time, we report weekly on all the activity from our end, so you can actually see how many people are hitting your sites, how many people are getting the landing pages, so we can also fine-tune and put more up or increase the frequency or reduce the frequency as we may. And we've had to recently with a particular client, got overwhelmed a little bit with all the inquiry. The important thing is we're 24/7, we're online, and you can message us and we'll usually get back to you provided it's not 3 a.m. or something. But we do a weekly whip with you, work in progress. And that can be, well, it doesn't have to be. Some clients I do once a fortnight, some we've got doing once a month, and some once a week. So it really depends on your availability and how comfortable you are. I think in the early stages, weekly is good. And then once you're comfortable with the way everything's going, then we can just put it out to every 2 weeks because you'll be getting the reports and we're 24/7 in contact anyway. So basically, what do you get when you hire us? You basically get a management lead, and that's an account service person, an account manager. Well, you get me doing, and my team doing the strategy and the lead creative work. We have an account manager who's available to you online every day. That person's dedicated. But in the background, of course, you've got program and tech guys who build web pages, who integrate software, copywriters and editors, digital designers who put it all together. We have a media buying person, database expert to help us, particularly those top-end clients who really want to segment their customers so they can actually focus on different offers relevant to different audiences. And there's lots of different software involved, let me tell you. The technology world is a wonderful place, but very daunting. But we use various pieces of software, and when we get down to talking about packages in detail with you, we'll tell you exactly what they are and how they work. Okay, so the done for you scope is basically what it covers, right? We do the strategy for all your campaign work, okay, and there's a bit of thinking involved with that, but the good news is the stuff that we're presenting is all proven. So it's just a matter of what's pertinent to you and relevant to your business and your business objectives. Implementation and execution of every activity outlined in the marketing plan can be undertaken by us. You don't have to lift a finger. The briefing, the work in progress and reporting is all done for you. We set up, manage, test and optimize your Facebook ads and retargeting. Retargeting, if you're not familiar with that, is when someone hits your website or hits a landing page but they don't actually buy or convert. There's a little thing called a pixel, which basically turns your ad into a stalking mechanism online, so they keep seeing your ad popping up. That's called retargeting. We can design and build we'll design and build all the web and digital elements, including the templates. We do the creative development and execution of the concepts, copywriting, editing, proofing of everything you're seeing. Okay, so it's all inclusive. There's nothing you have to worry about. Okay, it's like you've got your own little marketing department and ad agency all in one. Now, I won't go into this in too much detail, but basically we manage all your social channels for you, and that's a two-way street because managing social channels means people putting up stuff. We got to make sure that it's kosher and it's not defamatory and doesn't break any laws, so you need someone to look after that. But also optimize all your social accounts, include your bios, your links, your headers, photos, albums. We can make sure that stuff looks the best it can and it's working as hard as it can. We'll do the management of all your email marketing work, including the setup, the database management, design, promotion, dispatch, the strategic development for your brand site if you need it. The scope, we do customized design and builds. Personally, I don't believe that in this day and age you need to build a website from the ground up. There are so many good web builder software tools out there. It's simply a matter of customizing. Anything that's not within what we're recommending, and it could be a radio spot, a TV spot, or something like that, we'll always estimate and quote, and you can either keep that or reject it or do it yourself, whatever it might be. As I said, daily contact 24/7, a weekly work in progress, and reporting on all activity. So that's kind of everything that you get. There's a lot of people involved and a lot of activity or things that have to be done to make it all happen. So pricing, I'm not going to go into the actual dollars and the detail of this because you need to know what's relevant to you, to your business, and based on your business objectives. And I'll come to that in one sec. But here's how the pricing has occurred. We basically identified the common growth goals for dental practices. Typo there. And how much our clients typically need to spend on them to meet those goals. Then the package has been designed based on achieving that. So we have a bases covered package, which is all the rudimentary stuff that you need to be doing to get you build your practice, to start building it to be than it is now. Then we have growth, which includes everything in the previous package, but it's the whole objective is to dominate your local area, to be the highest, to be the most loudest voice, if you like, the strongest presence in a marketing sense in your area. And then we have a master marketer group, which is for multiple practices groups, really looking for some serious scale over their area. Okay. Now, what I'll do is I'll cover off the detail of that because the next step is the important one. We have a chat. Yeah, you might like what I've got to say. You might not. If you like what we've got to say here, I would like you to, once you put this video away, there's a button on this landing page. This landing page, by the way, is not that dissimilar to the one you'd be getting. It can work in a very similar way. We agree a plan. You select a package, and they're all off-the-rack packages, okay? Anything outside the package is quoted on. But each one is a drive-away, no more to pay proposition. Then it's a simple matter of, right, we implement and then we report, and as we go along and we refine. So it's really that simple. So I hope this has been of value to you. That's a little bit about us. We've got the 3 packages. It's all done for you. No more people in your surgery. No more overheads of hiring a marketing person or getting an agency externally. We keep our costs down because of the method that we use by doing so much of it online, and then having our formulaic stuff that we know works, and then putting that in different markets with different practices. And that's the guarantee too, that we won't work with a practice that's in the same catchment area as another practice. So there's 2 guys in the same sort of suburb or even a couple of suburbs away that compete for the same market, or we won't work with both of them. Okay, so we're a little bit unique in that respect, and we like to think our work's a little bit better. We know it's all proven because we've done our testing. So please click the button, book a time in with me. We'll have a chat and see if we can do some stuff together and help you grow your business. Terrific. Thank you.